What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today to talk a little Marvel PMGs. I was going to save this for the Monday week in review thing, but there was Golden Sale. It's making its way around the social media verse. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone, oh, PMGs. So I figured let's just go ahead and knock this out now as a standalone, and anything else that happens between now and Monday will mix in. So what happened? 2017 Fleer Ultra PMG set sold at Golden Auctions earlier this week for much less than they have previously sold for. About a 90 to 95% drop, I believe that it was. We'll get into some sales history here in a minute. So, because of that sale, that is now the talk of the town on the old social spheres. This really shouldn't be. I don't know why people are like shocked and awed by this. I shouldn't say we all. I feel like a lot of us had a feeling that this was going to happen. We saw this multiple times before. I've said this multiple times before. I even went back and looked at an old video that I did when this stuff was going wacko. None of this stuff was going to go up forever. We knew it was going to pull back. Or at least we were pretty sure. You never know for sure. Crazier things have happened. But the fact that this stuff has come down 90% from its highs in January and February shouldn't really be like the most shocking thing ever. Is it surprising that they've come down that much? A little bit. Newsflash, most of the stuff that went up during the peak of their market cycles over the last 2 years in the collectible space have come down a ton. I don't know the percentages off the top of my head, but sports cards, guess what? They went to the moon. And then what happened? They came back from the moon. Comic books went to the moon. Guess what? They came back from the moon. Pikachu to the moon. Back. F1 is now starting to market correct after a while. It's coming back to Earth. Marvel cards did the same thing. It's not that surprising. We all kind of had an idea that this was going to happen to some degree or another. And if you bought before, let's call it Thanksgiving 2021, probably even Christmas 2021, you're actually probably still up. At least, early winter. If you bought before early winter of 2021, you're probably at worst case about even. That's the part that people kind of leave out. It's like, well, yeah, duh, everything's down from its peak prices. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's happened across all the sectors, as we just talked about. So it shouldn't be that shocking that the same thing happened to Marvel PMGs. They got overinflated, they got pumped, they went to the moon, and it ran out of gas and came back to Earth. It's still up over what they used to sell for. We've seen this happen again and again. This stuff spikes way up, corrects back, and levels out at whatever its new floor is. Let's look at the three sales in question that everyone is talking about. This is a complete set of Fleer Ultra, Spider-Man, Red PMG set, all PSA graded. Now, these are not the exact same set. The grades do vary a little bit, but there is nothing in here that is going to swing things as big as these numbers swung. Could it swing things? The Spider-Man in the one set is a PSA 7 versus a PSA 9. That'll move things a couple $1,000s. It's not going to move things tens of thousands of dollars. This was the first one to sell on February 6th, 2022. $120,000, fully graded PSA set. This was near the peak. We were still on the upswing a little bit. A couple weeks later, February 23rd, this set sold for $205,000. Once again, some grade differences here, but nothing that would make up tens of thousands of dollars difference between these two sets. This was essentially the peak. Late February was basically when things were at the absolute tippity top. Shortly after this, things started to correct. They slowly started to pull back. Fast forward to today. A couple days ago, Wednesday, September 28th, the same set, not the same exact set, but the same set, not the same serial numbers is what I'm getting at here. Fully graded PSA set sold for $10,200. Full red set. This is about a 90 to 95% decrease from the peak sale. If this set sold a year ago, 2 years ago, it probably would have sold for a fraction of this price. I don't know if it would have been 90%, but it would have been quite a bit less. Pre the Marvel boom and PMG boom, most of these cards sold for a couple $100, if that. Keep that in mind. So once again, we kind of all knew that this was going to happen. I don't know why everyone's freaking out, or at least you can make a good educated guess. Once again, I always hate when I say, and I even say I'm about to play a video clip for you. No one knows. No one knows for sure. But we were all pretty sure that this stuff was going to come back down again. Back in, and I normally don't like doing this. Listen, I get tons of crap wrong. But let's jump in the time machine and go back to, this was posted on January 12th, 2022. So before these two sales even happened, the peak sales. There's one short little like 10 to 15 second clip and then like a 30-second clip I want to play real quick. This is what I said about Marvel PMGs, and this is the title of the video. Marvel PMGs are the hottest thing in the card market. How long can it last? Here's clip 1. But these things have been shooting up, 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 and up. And if we have learned anything, those of us that were in the sports card world or the comic book world over the last 2 years knows that nothing goes up forever. And all it takes is that one to sell for less than the next one or the one previous to it. And then things go down, and they can go down fast sometimes. So that was clip number 1. Sounds pretty familiar. Let's go to clip number 2, which is where I kind of like wrap up this video a little bit, and then we'll kind of chat again here for a minute. All I know is that if you're into these things and you can take profits out of them, take at least some profits out of them. Not saying sell your whole collection, do this, that, or the other thing. You know, sit down, review your stuff, and if maybe you're okay with it. If you were okay with this stuff going back down to what it was, are you going to kick yourself in a year from now going, man, I could have sold X thing 8 months ago for 100x what I paid for it, 10x what I paid for it. There's big numbers flying around right now. Some of this stuff for some of the people that have these cards is probably life-changing money. I mean, you need to really sit down and think about that if you're sitting on one of these cards in a personal collection. I get it. Personal collection means a lot to you, but you're talking about house money now. You know what I mean? Like, there's some massive numbers being thrown around on this stuff now. And for some people, that is life-changing money. For other people, it's nothing. The people buying a Spider-Man Blue PMG for $130,000, that's nothing for them. But for some of the people holding this stuff, it's a lot. And I just don't want to see people get burned thinking that this stuff is going to continue to go up. Now, I could be completely wrong. Once again, you know, this is just my opinion. We could be sitting here a year from now. You could be saying, why did I listen to that idiot Neo Cards and Comics? That asshole cost me a bunch of money. I sold it in, you know, the winter of 2022. And look, it's doubled in value since then. What a freaking moron. That could 100% happen. But odds are, more likely than not, this is probably going to come back down again. Remember this as a lesson going forward. If you are into something collectible, at least in this state, card, comic, toy, video game, whatever it is, and that little micro market that you're in, whatever it is, little subset, if it goes to the moon, it's not going to stay there. It's not a one-way ticket. It's going to come back. They always do. Now, I'm not talking about like 52 mantles here and all that crazy vintage stuff that has huge established markets. I'm talking about if you were into something that really hasn't had a lot of attention shown on it, and then all of a sudden it just blows up out of nowhere. Evaluate what's going on and maybe make an exit strategy for at least some of it. There's a decent chance that you'll probably be able to buy it back later. Maybe not always. There, at some point in time, it's not going to, and you're going to lose out. But more often than not, if you want to take the profit, that's the key thing. If you don't care, then none of this applies to you. But just don't be afraid to take that profit when it's there, if that's what you're into it for. When you get greedy, you get burned. That's all I have for you guys and girls today. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys and girls on the next one. Non-sports card update might be Tuesday next week, depending on when gem rate data drops. Might be doing Tuesday next week. Also, I should mention, at the tail end of this video, for anyone hanging around, I will be attending New York City Comic Con next week. I'll be there part of the time on Thursday and should be there for pretty much the full day on Friday. I'm super excited to attend New York City Comic Con. I'm not really going to buy anything or anything crazy like that. I'm going to go to a couple panels that caught my eye, but I'm just kind of going for it to have a good time. Justin and Sketch Cards, aka Norin, are going to be there, so I'm excited to hang out with those guys for a little bit over at the CGC booth, and get in some trouble. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But not sure what the content schedule will be for the back half of next week because I will be traveling. So, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys and girls Sunday morning for the weekly sports card market update. And I also be at Card Collector 2 Trade Night tonight. Peace.